Hi, and welcome to StormShannon.com. In this video, this is video 2 of the self-tests. The first one was the flexion test. If you haven't watched that one already, please go back and check that one out. This one is for extension. So, we're going to run through the basic tests that I look at with patients looking for the restrictions and extension, and then guide you as to where to start looking for correction. So first, we're just looking at total global extension. So just standing, you want to raise both arms straight up, and then you want to lean back as far as you can go. So ideally, you should move throughout the entire spine, throughout the knees, the hips, the shoulders, the whole bit. What I tend to find is people will either have no extension, they can't hardly go back at all, or they bend in one area where they will bend primarily usually in the lower back, and it is compensating highly for extension restrictions in the upper back. So that brings us to the number 2 self-test, where we get specific for that upper back. We're going to get up against the wall. I want your hips, shoulders, head flat against the wall, and then you're going to try to get your arms flat with your elbows up about 90 degrees. You should be able to be completely flat against the wall, wrists, elbows, head, shoulders, hips. When you're in this position, I want you to look down and look at your abdomen. Are you really hyperextended to get into that position where your back is super far away from the wall? Or are you able to maintain with your back in a nice neutral position, back close to the wall, and maintain that compression against the wall? Your head should also be able to come straight back. If you have to tilt way back, then that's an extension restriction as well. These all indicate that you're lacking extension in your thoracic spine or that upper back, and we need to work on it. The first big thing we want to look at is, can you get everything flat? If you cannot, and keep that good neutral position, if your elbows are off the wall or your wrists are popped up off the wall, then you're too tight through the chest to get into that position. So you need to go look at the videos for releasing the pecs. Also look at videos for releasing the lats. Those are the 2 primary ones that come into play. Along with that, when the pecs are tight, you also need to check and see if you're tight through your triceps. So check those videos out, loosen those up, recheck. You should see that after you do those releases, you have more mobility. Once you can get into this position and you can maintain, you can keep that thorax in a good position, then we can move on. But first we got to open up that chest. If you can get the arms flat and you're still hyperextended to be in that position, we need to get some extension back in your spine itself. So look at the thoracic mobilization videos. Finally, once we get here, we're then going to slide up. You should be able to do this without any effort. If it's really hard, you're firing those muscles in your back to a really high degree to be able to keep everything flat against the wall. Once again, we need to go back to the thoracic mobilization, work on the chest, work on the lats, the triceps, until this becomes really easy. Once you get to that point, we make it a little more difficult. We're going to drop you to 90 degrees of the squat, and you're going to test again. When you can do that, we're going to drop you all the way. Key point with this, once you can get flat, if you're noticing you're still lacking a little bit of extension, the other thing you can do is you can actually treat that extension restriction in this position. So you can use a lacrosse ball, put it down behind the shoulder blades, find the spots that are sore or tender when you're in this position, and work and release those, and then recheck. Okay? So that's it for the extension restriction video. Check that out. Check out the videos for the release. Play around with that self-test. See if you can correct your own shortcomings with your range of motion restrictions. Until next time.